What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I know, there's a face cam. It's weird, isn't it? So, I said this when I first made this video way back when. I said I would be reacting to it and trying to find out how I did. Well, the NFL season is over, so I'm going back to the very first Knicks Pick episode that I did, and we're going to react and see how well we did, how well Madden did, basically the whole 9 yards. But here we are. And I guess let's get it going.
What is going on, guys? You guys read the title?
Intro hasn't changed. The intro hasn't changed.
Listen, this is the fourth time, actually. This is the fourth time I am trying to record this video. One time, my own stupidity, I forgot to plug in my microphone. But the other two times...
Okay, so before I say it, I'm pretty sure there was one time I know for a fact. So I used to have a headset that had like a microphone on it, and that was plugged in, and I didn't realize it was plugged in instead of this, and it was just sitting on the floor. So I went through like the entire thing, recorded the whole thing, got into the editing software to actually like edit the thing, and then I realized the audio was absolutely horrible, and even boosting it up wouldn't have done anything. It would have been awful. So I had to redo the video. Then the second time, I believe it had the Bengals win it all, which I was like, all right, I can't go with that. So I did it a third or a fourth time and finally got it.
We had the Bengals here. 8-8 is surprising enough, but it had the Bengals 14-2 and going on to win the Super Bowl. And I'm just like, that's just not realistic. And that's actually been somewhat real, winning the Super Bowl. It's like, come on. So my predictions for the first,
so
I pretty much have the same order here for the North, except for the Steelers and the Browns. But my predictions for the AFC North
I'm sorry, I fucked that up, guys.
First.
All right, so what I have on the screen here is what Madden predicted would be the AFC North conference. And for the most part, they did okay. Obviously, the Steelers and the Browns ended up being the 1 and the 2 in the North. The Ravens also made the playoffs. So they actually had 3 AFC North teams make the playoffs in real life. Madden only had the Ravens do it. Overall, I mean, that's pretty good predictions. I wouldn't say there's anything like too bad about it. Obviously, the Steelers did way better than 8-7. Browns did a bit better than 8-8. I don't know about a whole lot better. The Ravens didn't quite do 12-4, but overall not bad. I think they were a little high on the Bengals too.
I pretty much have the same order here for the North, except for the Steelers and the Browns. But my predictions for the AFC North.
Actually, I picked Baltimore also first at 12-4, Cleveland and Pittsburgh at the 2-3. So I didn't do too great on that one. Obviously, I was very low on Pittsburgh. I didn't think their defense would be as good as they were. I've never been all that high on Cleveland. I'm actually surprised that I had them at second place. That's a little weird to me. I'm getting better, guys. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more energetic. All right, so we moved on to the AFC South. Let's see what I said here.
The South, we'll look at Madden's predictions first. They have the Colts, the Texans, the Titans, and the Jaguars, 1-4. This one's a bit surprising to me. I actually don't see the Colts as that good of a team, but I think the Colts could potentially be a real interruption for some other teams in this division, winning a few games that could, throw the Titans or the Texans.
So I don't know why I wasn't that high on the Colts. I know Phil Rivers at this time had already, I believe, signed with Indianapolis. I really don't know what my problem with the Colts were. I knew that I wanted to pick the Titans, and I actually did think that the Texans would be a lot better than they were. They weren't. Yeah, I don't understand why I wasn't all that high on the Colts. Let's see, my predictions, I had Tennessee, like I said, winning it all, which that's a good prediction. Tennessee did win it all, so we got that one right. The Houston Texans, 9-7, obviously I didn't think they were going to suck as bad as they did. Indianapolis, like I said, I don't know why I wasn't high on them at all. But, yeah, and Jacksonville, 3-13. Actually, 3 ended up being too many for Jacksonville, as they only managed to get 1 throughout the season and the number 1 pick. But overall, the South, I definitely did better than the North. That Houston and Indianapolis, if it was switched, I would have been golden on this one, but
around the league is that Jacksonville will have the number 1 pick in this next upcoming season and get Trevor Lawrence, but we have to see how the college football season goes first, so who knows. The AFC East,
I called that. Jacksonville getting the number 1 pick. How about that? The Bills won the division for the first time in like 20 years, and it seems like it would be a tough thing to pick, but for the most part, I think everyone had the Bills winning the division. Everyone kind of figured the Patriots weren't going to be as good this year. They had the Jets at 9-7, though. Can we talk about that for a second?
Both
Oh
have
boy,
the same.
I'm interested. I don't
For
know
me,
what
I just have the Bills and.
Okay, so, ouch. So obviously Buffalo, I was right for the most part on. I kind of sell them a little short here with 11 wins, but I was for the most part right on Buffalo that they would win the division. Patriots did not have that good of a season. I thought with Bill Belichick, the way I figured it was more Bill Belichick than Tom Brady. Tom Brady kind of proved that one wrong. So I did have a little bit higher on the Patriots. Miami 6-10. I thought they were okay, but I didn't know how good Tua was going to be. But it wasn't even just Tua. The fact that Ryan Fitzpatrick made that team as good as they were, I think that was insane. And then the New York Jets at 5-11. Again, I gave them too much credit at 5. I think they ended with 2 or 3 though, so not too far off. But overall, again with the East, I didn't do horrible. Not quite as good as the AFC South. Not quite as bad as the AFC North. But I would say I did okay.
And
I
the
would say nothing
Patriots making
too
the
bad yet.
playoffs, but I do have the Bills winning the division, just like Madden. Dolphins in 3rd and the Jets in 4th. I think the Bills and the Patriots are going to be a very tough one to pick. It's not Tom Brady, it's Cam Newton. And I know Cam Newton is an okay quarterback, but when you get put into a new system like that, it doesn't work right away. And you'll see that with my Buccaneers pick as well. It just doesn't work right away. There's going to be some time in the season, especially since there is no preseason. It's going to take some time for the Patriots to find their groove, whereas I think the Bills are going to start hot. So I think it's going to take some catching up for the Patriots, and I think in the end, they're just not going to have enough time to catch up, and the Bills will end up taking the...
All right, so was I wrong? Yes, but I was right about the fact that the Bills would start hot and the Patriots would start slow. Just didn't realize that the Bills would never slow down and the Patriots would never speed up. Not bad. All right, so for this division, I mean, after the Chiefs, it really didn't matter. The fact that they had the Broncos making the playoffs would end up being wrong, obviously. But everybody else in this division, obviously the Raiders ended up being the better of these 3 teams. And the Chargers really underperformed with Joe Burrow. But I'm actually just more interested to see what I said here and what I said for records.
13, and I think the Chargers are a better team than...
Okay, so I did have the Chiefs at 13-3. They did better than that. I'm pretty sure they did 14-2. The Denver Broncos 10-6. Look, I was a lot higher on the Denver Broncos, and I know a lot of people were. I really, other than injuries, that whole team just fell apart. Not only did their defense just underperform all season, but Drew Lock just underperformed all season. So, obviously, this Denver pick was wrong. Do I think it was a bad one, given the beginning of the season? No, because I do think a lot of people were very high in Denver, but it didn't go that way. And for the Las Vegas Raiders, 8-8, that was about them, and I was a little higher on
4-12, but the placements I can agree with here. Bottom line, this is the Chiefs' division to lose. I think the Broncos are a very promising team, but a very question mark team as well. Just because you don't know if Drew Lock is going to continue performing the way he did. And there's just a lot of question marks on the Broncos. So Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders is Madden's pick.
All right, so overall, AFC, I'm not embarrassed about anything. I'm really not. The AFC North, obviously, I had Pittsburgh at 8-8 or 8-7 or something like that. Way off. The Cleveland Browns, I had at 10-6 as well. Not as far off, but off. So obviously, the AFC North was my worst division out of all of those. But overall, I would say I'm not too upset with the entire AFC with our predictions. And even Madden didn't do all that bad either, so I'm proud of that.
In the North, they'll have the Packers winning the division, the Bears finishing as a wild card team, and the Lions and the Vikings behind them. This one, I agree with the Packers. I think the Packers are going to win the division, but I feel like it's going to be a very close race between the Packers and the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to get a wild card spot, and I think they are going to be probably winning the division for most of the season and then lose it near the end. But I would definitely say the Packers have this division. All
right. So ignore Green Bay and Detroit because I got those right. Those weren't bad. Green Bay did better than 12-4. They had the number 1 seed. Ignore those 2. Minnesota at 11-5. Why? I knew damn well Kirk Cousins was going to have a bad year. Like, I don't know why I knew it, but I know I knew it. And I picked 11-5 for the Vikings. 6-10 for Chicago. Now, look, for Chicago, even with Nick's picks that I did with Ben all season long, I wasn't picking Chicago very much at the beginning of the season. And they started like 5-0, 5-1. And I even said, I was like, look, Chicago's starting great, but they're not that great of a team. And I was right. They ended up starting to fall off. So did they finish 6-10? No. They actually did end up making the playoffs, which something I didn't expect they would do. So I will give credit to Chicago. They did prove me wrong this season. But overall, I do think 6-10 was about what they deserved.
In the NFC South, the Saints winning the division, the Buccaneers in second, Falcons in third,
And that happened.
Panthers
The Saints
in
did
fourth.
win the
This
division.
is the first division with Madden that I actually agreed completely on. Obviously, my records are going to be a little different, but for the most part, it is pretty spot on. The only two records that actually change are the Panthers and the Bucks, and it's only by a win or two. Buccaneers, it's the same thing.
Okay, so I did have 13-3 with New Orleans. Is that what they finished? That might have been. I might be a game or two off, but New Orleans 13-3, Tampa Bay 11-5. I did very well here on the South.
To catch up, so I would go. I love.
Look, now before we get to mine, which is gonna be completely upside down. When I saw that Madden had predicted the New York Giants to win the NFC East, I was like, no way and fuck that's happening. The Giants came literally one game away from winning the East, so Madden already did better than me on this one. I'm just going to go ahead
8-8, Cowboys and 8, being
reveal
8-8. My prediction team in this division, and that's 9-7. I don't know place. The Giants.
Yeah. Completely upside down. Well, not completely. I think Dallas and Philly would be switched for it to be upside down, but Washington football team did end up going on to win this division at 7-9. I had them at 3-13. Giants 6-10, which they did end up finishing 6-10. So look, that's fucking amazing. Philadelphia Eagles 9-7. Dallas Cowboys 10-6. Look, the East had a lot of problems this year. Now, was I going to be able to predict that Dak Prescott would break his ankle in week 4 or 5, whatever it was? No. Philadelphia sucking. Maybe should have saw that one coming. Maybe if I followed the Eagles a little bit better, I probably should have saw it coming. But this division was just an absolute train wreck this season. So I'll take this one with a grain of salt, but easily the worst division
third
so far.
in Washington.
That was just awful.
Sitting West, I have.
Okay, so we jumped right into the West. That was out of nowhere. Seattle Seahawks, I had winning the division. San Francisco 49ers at 11-5 again. Are you going to predict all the injuries that happened to San Francisco? No. I'll take 11-5 with a grain of salt. Arizona Cardinals at 8-8. This was one that after I had uploaded this video, I remember I wanted to go back and switch my Arizona Cardinals pick. I thought that I went way too low on Arizona. I thought they were going to be a lot better. 8-8 ended up being perfect. So stick with your gut sometimes.
Niners, Cardinals,
and the LA
Rams.
Yeah, that was just
my 1 through 4. Madden disagreed a little bit. They did Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers, and no team above 8-8, which kind of surprises me here. This is probably one of the.
So Madden did. Am I going to show it? Okay, yeah. Okay, so Madden did better with the rankings. Obviously, the Seahawks did win over the Rams, but the Seahawks and the Rams at the top, Cardinals in third, and the 49ers in fourth. That's how it basically went. They finished better than 8-8, though, so, I
think the Cardinals and the Rams could both be above 8-8 teams. But when you factor in that they have to play everyone in this division twice, I think the Cardinals and the Rams will both end up just under. But overall, my West predictions, Seahawks, 49ers, Cardinals, Rams. It's going to be close between the Seahawks and the 49ers, but I'm going to have to give them the Seahawks the benefit of the roster. I just think they have a
The other thing, though, is I wasn't that high on Jimmy Garoppolo, so I don't really know, I don't know. I really don't remember what was going through my thought process there, but all right, let's take a look at the playoff picture. Obviously, I got the Chiefs right, 13-3. They got the 1 seed. I had the Ravens at the 2 seed at 12-4. That they did make the playoffs, but they were not the 2 seed. They ended up being the 7 seed. Yeah, the 7 seed. The 3 seed I had as the Titans. They ended up being the 4 seed. The 4 seed I had as the Bills. They ended up being the 2 seed. I had the Patriots making the playoffs. They did not. I had the Browns making the playoffs. They did, and I'm pretty sure that's actually where they were. I also typo. And I had the Broncos making the playoffs, which they did not. Instead, the Colts and the Steelers should be in here. The Steelers should be at that 3 seed. The Colts should be at the 7 seed. The Ravens were 5, Colts were 7, Browns were 6. Got it. I remember now. It doesn't really matter what I said, to be completely honest. This was back at the beginning of the channel, and all I did was sit here and commentate what you're literally reading. So let's go back and look at this. The Saints with the 1 seed, I ended up getting that right. So I ended up getting both number 1 seeds right, which I'm pretty proud of. Actually, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. The Packers had the 1 seed. Fuck. Damn it. All right, well, I was close. So the Packers, Saints, Seahawks, these were the top 3 teams in the NFC this year. So, you know what? I was right about something. Saints, Seahawks, Packers, they were the top 3 teams. I had the Cowboys as the 4 seed. It ended up being the Washington football team getting that 4 spot. And then the wild cards, like I said, I got the Buccaneers right, but the 49ers and the Vikings, unfortunately, did not make the playoffs, didn't even come close. That ended up being Chicago and L.A., the L.A. Rams. So I wasn't bad. I had a North team and a West team. So for the most part, I am pretty proud of these predictions. I would have to say that my my preseason predictions weren't completely out there. It's not like I just completely made some shit up. There they are, side by side. Look. Did any of us really do horrible? Let's take a look at it. First of all, Madden got all of the NFC playoff teams right except for the Washington football team. They had the Giants in there instead. So I would say Madden, very impressed by the fact with their NFC playoff teams. All of those are correct. Obviously, the seedings are not correct, but all of those teams are correct with exception for the Giants, who were 1 game away from making it. So pretty good. On the AFC side, obviously Broncos, Jets, Patriots did not make the playoffs, but they got all the division winners. Or no, they didn't. They didn't get the Titans. So AFC, they did not do as hot. For me on the NFC side, obviously I missed a few teams, and on the AFC side, I missed a few teams. So overall, we're going to go ahead and say Madden did better, but they did pick the Jets. So anyways, moving on to the we're just going to skip over all of this. I mean, these were just teams beating, none of these matchups really even ended up happening. So we're just going to move ahead. We have made it to the AFC and NFC Championship. In real life, they've already happened. We already know it's the Chiefs and the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. But the NFC Championship game, I had... Was this me or is this Madden? I'm pretty sure this is me. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I had the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. The Kansas City Chiefs actually went on to beat the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship, but it was the 1 versus 2 seed. So kind of okay with that there. Madden, on the other hand, had the Indianapolis Colts beating the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. So neither of their conference championship teams were correct. And in the NFC side, they had Chicago going up against New Orleans. Again, neither of those teams made it, so none of the Final Four is correct for Madden, so they will not be getting the Super Bowl winner. On the NFC side, I had Seattle going up against the San Francisco 49ers. I'm actually surprised. I thought I had the Saints. I was almost positive I had the Saints, but nope, it looks like I had Seattle going up against Kansas City in the Super Bowl, but Seattle beating San Francisco. Obviously, they didn't make it past Green Bay, and San Francisco didn't make the playoffs. I did not get Tampa Bay making it that far, but I already know who I had win. And like I said, those were Madden's picks. And let's see. Obviously, my Super Bowl was the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Seattle Seahawks, and let's just see what I said.
The winner of Super Bowl 55 is going to be the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to go back-to-back feel like this one's going to be a little bit better of a game than the 49er game, but it's an NFC West team regardless. I think the Chiefs will win this game 32-27.
All right, so you heard that here first. My preseason prediction was that the Chiefs would win the Super Bowl 32-27. Now, they're not playing the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if they win that game 32-27, I deserve like a mil subscribes. Like, honestly, come on. I deserve it all. I'm just kidding. Madden, their Super Bowl. Obviously,
55
none of the corrections were there.
Champion is the New Orleans Saints. They
Look at me. I used to be so much better with the sound effects.
beat the Indianapolis Colts 42-21 in the big game.
Obviously, neither team will be in the Super Bowl, but if the final score is 42-21, Chiefs or Tampa, we know Madden did pretty well on their score prediction. But that is it, guys. I mean, I don't think I do like MVP or anything like that.
Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, no. Just the like and subscribe screen.
No
I'll leave those there so you guys can go click on or go follow those real quick. But that's the end of the video, guys. Look, Madden did better than me. I'll say that much for the most part. But I'm not too disappointed by how well I did. I think I think I did pretty well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction video. I hope you enjoy the face cam. This is the first real video with a face cam I'm going to be posting. I've already recorded a few with a face cam before this. I just haven't gotten around to editing them or doing anything with them. But I hope you guys enjoy the face cam. It's weird for me because I'm just not used to like actually like moving around and reacting when I'm talking. As Italian as I am, you would think. But regardless, we're going to stop talking real quick. I hope you guys had a great one. Peace.